Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Nightscape Images Adventures all over the countryside. Today I'm in the Grampians National Park in Victoria, Australia, and as you can see it is wild and windy, fog and rain. So what else would you expect up here at the Grampians? So I'm going to be here for a while, so I'll be bringing you quite a number of episodes from this region. And I've been here a few times before, as you probably know if you followed my work. Love it here. It is an absolutely beautiful spot, although today it is freezing cold, wet and windy. I can't see a thing down that valley there, but that's not going to put me off. I'm going to have a look around for some compositions. I'm going to take you guys along the way, so let's get into it. Now, it wasn't even the last time I was in the Grampians that I came to the balconies one night and shot an awesome image of the balconies, which is about 1 kilometre down the track here. And it was a moonless night, very dark and extremely cold. But I got an awesome shot there, and I'll just show you that one now. And just to illustrate the landscape and the beauty that's in this regional park of Victoria. Okay, so here we are at the world famous Reed's Lookout, right at the very top of the Grampians National Park. And as you can see, can't see about more than about 20 feet in front of our face at the moment, but it is absolutely beautiful up here. My intention is to get back up here on this trip. We'll see how we go. Well, to be honest, there's not much to be seen up in this area here. So I'm going to make my way back to town, down the hill, but I know there's some other areas in the district here that I haven't been to before. I'm going to bring you some awesome images. So let's get going. Okay, well, I'm heading back down the mountain now, and I've had experience here before where it can be really fogged in up the top of the mountain here, and actually when you get down the bottom it's clear. So it doesn't bother me just at the moment because I'm just in the mode of having a look just to see what's here. But I've got a few hours. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so I've got a few ideas of some locations down on the bottom of the mountain. We're going to have a look at all of those. I've got plenty of time. The weather forecast is not great for the time that I'm going to be here, although tonight it looks okay. So I'm hanging my hat on that weather forecast, and we'll see how it goes for the rest of the time that I'm here. Okay, well, I've just driven about 10 kilometres away from the Grampians and I've arrived at Lake Fyans, and I've been here before but I've never shot anything here. Now, as you can see, it's a lot clearer. There's even blue sky over there. The sun I can see over there sort of coming down over the top of the Grampians. So I'm here to have a look up here at the lake. I know there's a lot of dead trees and I think they'll look pretty good as a nightscape. It's very windy, you can probably see the wind, so that's going to make it pretty cold, but let's go and have a look and see what we can see. Okay, well here you can see Lake Fyans, absolutely littered with dead trees. Now the last time I was here the water level was a lot higher, so there's a lot of exposed rocks on this bank all the way along there. You can see the Grampians there in the distant background, which is a beautiful sight, and that's more into the southwest. So the Milky Way core, it's June at the moment, southern hemisphere. The Milky Way core is going to rise up over there in the southeastern sky at the latitude that I'm at roughly about 110 degrees east. So all I need to do is find a composition where I can get some of these dead trees in the foreground with the water and the Milky Way core overhead. Sounds easy, doesn't it? But as many of you know, it's not always as easy as it seems. Never mind, I'm going to go and have a look around. At the moment, I'm not in the right position for the Milky Way core in the eastern sky, because when I look at my PhotoPills app on the phone, it's telling me that I have to be facing straight down that way. And unfortunately, the position I'm at here, that's just straight down the dam bank. That's no good. But if I face my PhotoPills app this way, then I can get the Milky Way core coming down over the top of the Grampians and the dead trees in the lake. Problem is, that's at about 3 a.m. in the morning. Maybe I'm just going to have to get up in the middle of the night, come out here and hope the night sky is clear and get that shot. But I'm not going to give up on the eastern perspective. I'm going to drive around to the western side of the lake and see if I can find a composition over there. So let's go. Okay, just have a look at this. Now I've driven around the perimeter of the lake. This is facing east. Look at those beautiful clouds over there. Now, and there's some gorgeous logs, dead logs standing in the lake here. If the sky clears tonight, this will be a fantastic shot. And I think it might also actually make a great time lapse, perhaps a little bit further along. And I'm just looking at the sky at the moment. It looks pretty good. There's about a, I don't know, 30 or 40% clear sky over this way. It's a very strong wind, which could bring anything, I suppose. And let's face it, I'm at the Grampians, so the weather here is very, very changeable. But at the moment, I'm pretty happy. Okay, so I reckon this will be the spot where I shoot the day to night time lapse. Now I'm taking a bit of a gamble here because I don't even know if the weather's going to clear. And I'm going to have to start it pretty soon because it's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I think sunset is in about half an hour. There's some beautiful colour happening depending on the light that comes from that side. But I'm just going to give it a go. I'm not exactly wasting film, am I? So let's see how we go. Okay, well I've bitten the bullet and I've set up my time-lapse plus view on my Nikon D750 with the 14 to 24 f2.8. I'm shooting off towards the east at 14 millimeters at f2.8, and the exposure is ramping depending on the light conditions. So what's happening is currently it's shooting at 1/80th of a second at ISO 100 and the f2.8, yeah. And it's going to end up at ISO 2500 later tonight at probably about 20-second shutter speed. So I'm hoping it all works out. It'll take probably about 2 or 3 hours to get through this. The water is close, the wind is blowing straight into the lens, so there's a potential for a little bit of mist on the lens. I'm hoping the wind actually dies down tonight. It is predicted to do that, but I want a little bit of breeze because I'm a bit worried about the lens fogging up if it gets too cold. So we'll just have to wait and see how it all turns out. Okay, so the final step of this procedure with the day to night time lapse is that I've put a light here, one of my Z96 video lights up on a stand, and it's on about 1/4 power because when the sun sets, this landscape is going to be as dark as anything. So I want to be able to see a little bit of an outline on these trees. I realise they'll be silhouetted okay, but I just want a little bit more light than just a silhouette. Now, I'm sure some of you are going to ask me, how do you know how much light to put on the tree when it's still daylight? And the answer is, I have no idea. I'm guessing, just like you will be. But you know, I've done this a few times before, and this is always a critical thing. I just sort of estimate what I think, because it's all to do with distance, how far away the trees are from the light, how bright the light is, and all of those things considered. I've put it on to about a quarter power. Some of those trees are, probably about 60 or 70 metres away from the light. That one over there is probably about 30 to 35 metres away. So as the distance increases between the light and the subject, the light intensity falls off. So it's guesswork, but hopefully it's going to get the job done. Now, one other thing that's really important when having light stands or tripods out here that are fairly high and precarious, I've always weighed them down with some rocks. And it just so happens there's heaps of rocks on this bank. They're absolutely everywhere, so no problems at all. I've done the same thing on my tripod down there, so nothing is going to move, whether it gets windy or anything else. Well, there's not much more I can do here except settle myself in for the night. So I've got my car down there in a reasonably well sheltered area, and it's not far off being dark. So then I'm going to come back and shoot some single shots. Milky Way core over those trees. Can't wait for that. Okay, so I just went out there before. It's quite dark outside now. Just went outside there to check how that time-lapse was going, and realised that I'd set the intensity of that Z96 way too bright, so the trees were flaring like crazy. And I should know better with things like that, but I think what happened was the fact that the trees lit up because of the colour of them. So they were very, very pale and almost white coloured trees. So anyway, I've adjusted the intensity of the light, so there'll be a little bit of a jump with the lighting in the foreground. I've done it before and I'll probably do it again. That's what happens when you're going on the fly with these things. Anyway, I'm going to shoot some single shots now. Really looking forward to it. The sky's clearing up nicely. Well, once again, another awesome night out here under the stars has come to a close. There was a lot more cloud cover than I really wanted last night, but you know, I was happy with what I got anyway. The time-lapse 586 frames, and I think the cloud cover always looks good in a time-lapse, so you can sort of blend it in. The single shots, I took shots with the Milky Way core rising in the eastern sky early in the evening. Then later at about 6 a.m. this morning, I got up, tried to shoot the Milky Way over the Grampians over there in the southwest. Bit more difficult because the cloud just rolled in again, but I had a great time here. And so I'm off exploring around the district in the next couple of days, and I'm going to bring you some more content. Looking forward to that, so I'll see you later.